This happened to me last October, and I still can't explain it. My wife and I had moved into our new home out in the suburbs of Pennsylvania. It was a great house in a great neighborhood, and we were very excited to start our new journey there. Well, not even a week into being moved into the house, something very strange started to happen. It was a Friday night. My wife and I were in the living room watching a horror movie on TV when there was a knock at our door, and we heard someone say, "Trick or treat." Now, mind you, it wasn't Halloween yet. It was early October. But nonetheless, I got up to answer the door. When I opened it, no one was there. My wife followed shortly behind me, and we both looked out. No one was there, and the street was completely empty. We both chalked it up to kids in the neighborhood pranking us and just went on with our night. Well, the next night around the same time, it happened again. There was a knock at our door, and we heard "trick or treat." A little bit more hesitant this time, we went to the door, only to find that there was no one there yet again. And no joke, this went on for another week. We started asking around the neighborhood if it was happening to anyone else. It wasn't. I was getting really fed up at this point and decided that I would install a Ring camera at the front door to catch whoever was doing this red-handed. It was a Friday night again, and me and my wife were in our bedroom. It was very late at this point when we both woke up to the front door knocking and the words, "Trick or treat." I sprinted down the stairs so fast, determined to catch these bastards. But of course, when I opened it, no one was there. But this time, on our front steps, there were 5 pieces of candy. I shut the door and went inside to pull up the Ring footage that was on my phone. They might have gotten away before I got to the door, but now I knew I had them on camera. Except, when I pulled up the Ring camera footage from moments prior to the knock, there was nothing there. Nothing at all. I thought it had to be some glitch with the app. I was so certain that it was a glitch of some sort that I took it to Best Buy the next day to have someone from Geek Squad check it out. However, they said there was no issues with the Ring camera or the app. I was truly baffled. My wife ended up saying some prayer and lit incense around our house, and guess what? No more knocking or hearing the words "trick or treat." I cannot explain this story at all. I've never been a spiritual person, but whatever my wife did worked. We've had no issues like this since. When I was a senior in high school, me and my friend Ashley would frequently walk home from school together. We lived in the same neighborhood, and the school was only a 20-minute walk for us. Well, it was mid-October. I remember it was extra chilly that day, and we were both walking home. We were taking our time though because we were admiring all the cool and neat Halloween decorations that the houses had. We had stopped at this one house that had this giant skeleton in the front yard and were taking pictures of it when I noticed this older man starting to walk towards us. I thought he was just going to keep walking by, but he didn't. He stopped right in front of me and Ashley. And when I say older, I mean it. His back was hunched, his skin was leathery and wrinkly, and he had that cologne on that I swear most older grandpas wear. Well, he stops right in front of us and asked if we would like any candy. We both politely declined. I sort of felt bad doing so because he did seem like a sweet old man. He said nothing and just continued to walk down the street. We quickly forgot about that little interaction, and I continued to walk Ashley to her house. We said goodbye, and then I made my way to my home, which was only 5 houses down. But the problem was, when I got to my house, I saw that my front door was wide open. I didn't see my parents' car in the driveway, and this did concern me. This was a very safe neighborhood. There was virtually no crime whatsoever, so I climbed the stairs thinking there had to be some logical explanation as to why it was open. I took one step into the house. Our living room was directly to the right when you walked in. And when I did, sitting on my living room couch was that old man from earlier. I screamed. He turned to face me, and I saw he was eating pieces of candy that he had just offered us previously. And in his other hand was one of our kitchen knives. He looked at me when I screamed and said, "Come in, dear. I have lots more candy for you." Even though he was older, I was terrified. I ran out of my house and over to my next door neighbor's. My neighbor was a mechanic and he was a pretty big guy. He went over to my house for me and ended up confronting the man. To make a long story short, this older gentleman had severe dementia. He had been wandering our streets and he thought that my house was his house, and he thought that his wife was me when I walked in. I found out his wife had died almost 20 years prior, and he's been living alone ever since. Yes, it is sad, but it was honestly one of the most scariest things that's ever happened to me. Oh, and if you're wondering how he got through the front door, he used some kind of pin gadget that he had on him and was able to let himself in. I wish that man well and hope he gets the help that he needs. But I never want to come home again to some stranger sitting on my couch with a knife. So this has to be one of the scariest things that's ever happened to me. Last October, my girlfriend and I were decorating our apartment. She was way more into Halloween than I was, but I do enjoy putting up spooky decorations. One day, my girlfriend came home with this scarecrow. She said she bought it at this antique store in town, and the owner claimed that it was haunted. How a scarecrow could be haunted was beyond me, and I actually thought it was pretty stupid of my girlfriend to buy, but whatever, it made her happy, so I was happy. We ended up setting the scarecrow right at our front door for people to see when they walked by or came in. My girlfriend said it was the final piece of decoration that we needed for our place to be officially ready for the Halloween season. Well, this is where things started to get creepy. The next morning after we had gotten the scarecrow, I woke up and noticed that things in our apartment were moved around. And it was little things. Like my MacBook that I kept in my office was now on our kitchen table, and my girlfriend's earrings that were on her nightstand were on the bathroom floor. Weird shit like that. Honestly, I had so much shit to deal with at work that this wasn't a major concern for me at first. Now I realize that it should have been. The next morning after that, my girlfriend and I woke up to our entire bed covered in hay. And I mean covered in it. At first we both blamed each other for trying to pull some kind of prank, but we soon realized that neither of us had done it. That's when I started realizing that these weird things started happening after we had gotten that supposed haunted scarecrow. The third morning, I woke up extra early to go downstairs and make some coffee. I walked into the kitchen and that's when I saw the scarecrow just lying on the floor. We had kept him outside this entire time. Our doors were always locked, so how in the hell did it get inside of our house? I woke up my girlfriend and she was equally as confused and terrified as I was. Call us superstitious or what have you, but that morning I went out back where we have a community fire pit and burned the scarecrow. And what was even stranger, when it started really burning, I could have sworn I heard this sort of growl of anger coming from it, like I was burning up a devil or something. Now I truly believe that my girlfriend brought home something sinister that I cannot explain, because once we burned the scarecrow, all the odd things that were happening just stopped. So next time you want to bring something into your home that is supposedly cursed, don't do it. Take it from someone who now has nightmares of haunted scarecrows. Thanks for listening.